YouTube, we're starting these faceplate castings with some good old sweet shaper action. No better way to remove some casting or mill scale casting scale, in this case from cast iron or hot rolled, than with a shaper. No cheaper way to do it, that's for sure. May not be the fastest. But I'm going to bring the camera in here and show you our setup. We've already taken a cut across this top. And you got to be careful of work holding with castings, because none of the sides are flat, none of the sides are straight. There's draft on everything, and you've got to take some precautions, especially when using a shaper with these castings. And let me show you a few things that I've done. So let me bring the camera over. First thing you notice is not only do I have my piece here between in the jaws of the vise, but I got some clamps here on the bottom side, just giving me some extra security to keep this thing from tipping up. You don't want this tool bit to dig into the workpiece and grab and tilt the workpiece up, and then the next time it's going to come forward, and it's going to throw it across the room. So you don't want that. Second precaution, I want you to notice that on this tool bit, there's absolutely no back rake and no side rake. The front's just flat. For cast iron or other grabby materials, this is appropriate. And we have this in a tool hole. This is 7/16 square blank, ground with a nice generous radius. See if you can see that across the front, with some back rake on both sides. What we're going to do now is we're going to do a vertical cut down this face. Then we're going to move our movable jaw back, put us some blocks in here, and then we're going to take a cut across this bottom face. So we'll get both of our main working faces cleaned up right here after this cut. So let's get set up. We got a 7/16 cutting bit here with a full radius, pretty good size radius, about 3/16 here. Flat on the face, no back rake. You don't want any back rake when you're using cast iron in a shaper. The bit will pick the part up and throw it straight on across the room. And if you're in front of it, take you with it. So remember that when you're cutting cast iron, brass in the shaper, no back rake or side rake. It's just flat front. So we're going to go ahead and get set up here and start taking some cuts. Coming in until I touch off. There we go, I got a touch. I'm going to come in 5 thou. Now we're going to feed on down. That's not enough cut. Not quite. We'll feed a little bit more. All right, you see we got a nice cut coming along here. Cutting straight down. You have to pay attention because this part has draft on it. So our depth of cut is increasing as we get farther down. Let me get that phone. Okay guys, if you notice, we've really moved down in the cut here. We're taking every bit of 1/4 of an inch right here, depth of cut, right, well, let me get a pointing device here. So right down here, we have a whole radius. The whole radius of the cutting tip is buried in this cut. We're taking every bit of 1/4 inch, if not more, width of cut here as we plunge down into this piece, and it'll continue to increase as we get down towards the bottom. We may have to actually cut down as far as we can basically, and then come across here and cut. My pointer has been magnetized magically, but we're getting a real good finish. Looks really good, nice smooth straight cut here. This really is a great tool for carving this cast iron down. And we're going to try to finish up this long cut here straight down, and then we'll take the cutting tool out and take it over to the grinder and freshen that up, because it's plowed off some material here. But we're getting right down to it. All right, fellas, we've completed this second cut. I'm gonna try to get you in close here, put a scale in here so you get some idea of the type of cut we're taking here. Like I said, that's pretty much, that's every bit of 1/4 of an inch right there across this cut here. So the last say 300 thou down this face has been pretty slow, because I've only been able to feed and take a slight depth of cut given the width of this cut face. But we're all the way down to this surface, maybe even a little below where we need to be. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to make a cut into the 90 formed by the base and the upright that we just machined. We're going to make a cut into that corner at 45 degrees as a relief groove, so you can set a square piece in this corner. So the way we're going to do it is we're going to plunge this existing tool bit directly into the corner, straight in at 45 degrees. Now I want you to note my setup here. This is the tool slide basically, and then this is the clapper carrier here, and then this is the clapper. You'll note that the tool slide always travels in the same direction that your tool bit, your cutting edge. In other words, if you want to do a straight up and down cut, this has to be straight up and down. If you want to do a 45 degree cut, this has to be at 45 degrees. Now, secondary to that, the clapper has to be positioned such that on the backstroke that the tool bit lifts away from the cut, right? So you'll see I've got the clapper tilted all the way over, maximum amount of travel. This really doesn't matter. This basically you only really use straight up and down and left and right. I've got the clapper tilted all the way out to this side. So what we're going to do now to get set up this next cut is we're going to angle the tool slide at 45 degrees. And the way we do that, right here, that is the clamp that loosens the tool slide. The collar is graduated. So I'm going to kick this on around. Get my lead tapper there. Crank this back. Okay. So the tool slide is now set up for 45-degree tool travel. Obviously, my cutting bit is out here in midair, so we need to rearrange the clapper and we need to rearrange the position of the cutting tool. Okay, fellas, here's our setup. And now we're looking down. This is the angle of the cutting tool right here, going by you right here. The cutter will be moving in and out this direction. And then here is our where we're going to enter the workpiece, right down here in this V. So this is the top of the plate here. Here's the face we just cut, and then here we are. I'm trying to give you your perspective. The workpiece, the cutting tool is going to feed in this direction, and we're going to gingerly, and I do mean gingerly, feed in, because we're taking a full width cut, and we're going to feed into this vertex here between these two faces. And we're going to push our relief cut back down into this corner. Not very far, because we only really have to get behind the vertical here and below the horizontal here, and then we have sufficient relief, right? So, alrighty, here you go. Here's the motion. Alright, let's start feeding. Alright, I think that ought to do. See if you can see down. You can see our relief cut here. It looks exaggerated because of this little lip of the horizontal surface here. You notice my scribe has got quite magnetized here. Let me clean the chips out. Hold the camera down for a shot here at the end, maybe. So you can see our relief cut right here. We are back behind the vertical surface here by 1/16 or so. And by the time we clean up this horizontal surface, we'll be about the same relief. So we've got relief there in the corner. Now it's time for us to start working on this horizontal surface right here. Sorry for the hand hold. I'm just trying to get you down here to show you this this cut. Well, we're getting almost complete coverage across there, so it's going to take us a couple of passes, but won't be too bad. All right, there's our first pass. You see we only cleaned up partially here. Went all the way over to where this side of the bit was basically almost touching this face. So I'm going to feed down probably another 10 thou, and then we're going to make another cut across here. Moving along through our cut pretty nicely here. We're taking another 10 thousandths and we're feeding over at a 30 thousandths feed, step over. For the shaper geeks out there, we're running at 32 strokes a minute, approximately a 9-inch stroke length, which works out to about 60 or so surface feet per minute. Alrighty, there's our final roughing pass, I guess you could say, on the two primary working surfaces of this angle plate. So we made 3 passes off of here. We've taken 30 thou off of here, and the astute observer has probably noticed that right through here, right through this spot, it isn't making a real nice clean cut, and I really think this is kind of a chilled spot, maybe the hard spot in the casting. So I'm going to make a more aggressive cut on this next pass to try to get under that and clean that up. Okay guys, so like I said, we're through with the roughing out the primary working faces on this angle plate here and also this top ledge. This, by comparison, is the other casting that I'm getting ready to throw in the shaper and start cutting. Try, when you're working with iron, especially cast iron, try not to get any oil in your castings, right? Cut it dry and try to keep your castings clean and oil free. If you have a piece, if you get oil on a portion of your casting as opposed to another, it'll change your surface finish up and the quality of your cut dramatically to where it doesn't match. Really, you don't get a nice consistent surface finish. Just looking at these two plates right here, I can tell you right now that roughed out, this plate is still thicker than this plate right here, than this other casting. So I have a goal in mind here is to have these two working surfaces at the same height and obviously basically coplanar, so that I can use these in a paired arrangement to hold larger workpieces. So I'm gonna have to rough a lot more off of here, or it might clean up off the bottom. That's why all I'm doing right now is I'm roughing these surfaces out so I can then hold against these surfaces like so, and I can cut the bottom, right? So this gives me a surface to work off of. Once the bottom's cut, then I've got to go back and cut these surfaces all over again. So, but that is a goal. There is a goal to have these the same thickness. So they've got to finish up. So once the bottoms on both of these are cut, and the faces are roughed out and the bottoms on both of these are cut, then I'm going to set these up in the big mill over here at the Kearney Trekker, and we're going to take these passes here, we're going to take this surface and then these two surfaces in one cut at the same time, so that these end up being the same thickness and the same dimension, so that I can use these in pairs. It'd be really nice if this dimension front to back was the same. Not as critical, but that would be a nice dimension to be able to maintain, because then you could throw both of these up against the stop and your two verticals would be spaced the same distance back. So that would also be a nice achievement, but a little trickier. So anyway, look for episode 2. This is going to be an ongoing project for a little while, and I'm going to go throw this one in and get caught up. So be safe in the shop, and be back with you soon.